And the first match of Friday Night Fight Club tonight will start in just a sec.
All right, so this week we have Emmerich and Lezik. Emmerich, a returning combatant. He was here last week for the first time and is a new player to Landmark. Had to make sure I got that one right. And Lezik, I believe it's the first time I've ever seen Lezik here on Friday Night Fight Club. So two newbies going to be battling it out, and newbies I mean in the most respectful and beautiful way.
We love newbies here. It's great.
Of course we do.
The more the better.
We're no Tobran. We don't love newbies that much, but we definitely love newbies a little bit.
We do love when you guys come out, especially new people.
Definitely. And I believe that they should be joining up here in a second. I will be going into observer mode as soon as they do. And we have the game, Lezik and Emmerich, both starting with the bow, trying to exchange the right click on the bow, but it isn't. It is very, very difficult to hit, and both of them actually do miss that one. But Emmerich getting some shots off on Les does take out his armor. Now, looks like Emmerich has some sort of shield that's going to give him a small advantage in this matchup. Lezik actually hitting his slow on his shout. And some dashing, darting, and charging coming out of the of both opponents, but both of them sort of missing. Lezik's trying to do some close-range bow combat, but Emmerich hitting that slow is going to wind up being able to punish him for continuing to try to kite. The slow does wear off, and Lezik does try to get back, but Emmerich is closing those gaps with the using his armor as a buffer and using the charges to get in range. There we go. That is a dead Les, and Emmerich is one up. Looks like we're going to start with a double sword combat ability. Oh, Emmerich goes for a battle shot to get his armor up and then pulls out the bow. Hitting some auto attacks. Looks like both of them are trying to charge up their blazing shot. Will one of them get it before the other? Ooh, Emmerich gets the blazing shot and then misses his immolating barrage, which means that he does not get the dot that applies after hitting that. Both of them with their swords out now. Emmerich with a slight lead, slashes all around. Simple running at this point, just kind of like not auto-attacking. Lezik decides to pull out his staff to see what he can do. Wants to put the pain on somebody with the floating ice storms.
One thing I'm not seeing Lezik do that might be helpful is he's sticking to his current weapon rather than switching to the sword and using that Warrior's Roar on cooldown to get the armor back.
Absolutely. That is definitely a great strategy to put into play just in general. Try to use that. Try to take out the sword to use the roar as much as possible. Of course, assuming that you're not getting smacked consistently by the bow, or else it wouldn't really be worth it. But so Lezik missing his immolating barrage as well there. Kind of just Emmerich just being out of range. This is 2-up Emmerich, so it looks like he's going to be able to just get a couple more slashes in here and finish this one out. Unless Lezik can pull off some amazing comeback. Emmerich would be inclined to pull out the bow here and just finish him off with an immolating barrage, but he's going to keep on going. He wants to kill this. He wants to see Lezik's face when he gets the kill. And there it is, 3-0 Emmerich. Congratulations. Lezik, good fight.
Good fight, guys. And that means next up we've got Masayume, who is having some inventory issues, I think. Hopefully he's got that sorted out. It's going to be Masayume versus Naklus. I'm going to type that out in chat and make sure they see as well. Guys, like I said before, Lucas the Lost, Mr. Mark, he's a good friend of mine. He's one of the developers on this game. He's hanging around, so I know we've got some time in between matches. If you want to shoot questions over his way in-game chat or in Twitch, I don't know how available he is right now or how much he's paying attention to that, but there's a chance you could potentially get some questions that you have, some lingering questions about this or something else answered. He's a cool guy. He likes to do that from time to time.
Will Landmark be the WoW killer? That's my question.
There it is.
I mean, EverQuest next. Damn, I can't say the right one. I always get.
You're the worst. Okay,
worst.
So Masayume managed to figure out a way to take his stuff off, and both our guys are good to go. So that means they should put their gear back on and queue up. This will be our second match versus Masayume versus Naklus. Or is it Masayume? Masayume.
better to say it the more abstract way when it comes to a lot of the
Masayume.
more Asian sounding names. Divine Fury, like that name. All right, so Naklus is a friend of ours here on the stream. He's actually a moderator and a good friend of mine. He's active in Landmark, but doesn't do too much PvP. But he is facing a Masayume, I'm gonna go with Masayume. And Mas is also somebody who I believe I've seen in Friday Night Fight Club once before, but relatively new to the scene as far as Friday Night Fight Club is concerned. So looking forward to it.
Looks like they are queued.
All right, so we're just waiting for Nak and Mas to both hit their cues.
Yep, so again, guys, once I jump up next to your character, that means you're good to put your gear back on, and also good to queue up for the match, which it looks like they did, and we're good to go.
Absolutely. All right, so we have Nak and Masa, even though my observer mode seems to have bugged out, so we're going to be first-hand in the arena this time. Both of them with the staff. Looks like they just want to have fun with it and see who can lay the icy waste to their opponent first. Ooh, Nak lands a... I don't know who hit that one, because it looked like it hit him, but it looked like that ice barrier hit him, but didn't actually go through. Not sure. So Nick's taking out the sword, seeing if he can maybe get some close and distance and get some dashes in, potentially. There he goes. Right in the face of Mas. Going to start to get some auto attacks off of a low armor target.
Mas is actually landing a lot more of the frost orbs than I've seen a lot of people do. It's really hard to lead with that because they're so slow, and he's doing a pretty good job of keeping pressure on.
Well, I think generally the biggest issue with the staff is that the sword exists. So in general, I don't think that the staff will be that much of an issue. But if somebody does use the charge ability consistently, you probably won't ever be able to hit any of those shots, which is currently, in my opinion, the biggest issue.
For sure. He managed to land a shatter and almost got the frozen domain off to hold him down in it, which should be, that's always a good combo. He's hitting pretty well with the shatters.
Yeah. But it looks pretty even here as Nick is trying to close the gap with the sword. Mas is doing his best to keep some distance, gets a nice shatter there, and is going to continue to throw off some auto attacks. Nick regaining some armor there with the shout.
Once again, Mas is pretty spot on with the staff, but I'm not seeing him switch to the sword to get that armor back, which is surprising.
Yes, the armor, and at this point he could have actually ended the first kill with a nice immolating barrage. As Nick decides to actually takes out the bow, grabs the immolating barrage, and gets the 1-0 lead. All right. Mas hitting a nice stun there, but not able to hit too many auto attacks from the staff. Oh, there he gets one, and it just doesn't do that much damage as well. And, like, the auto attacks seem pretty weak there. All right, Mas. Looks like he's taking out the bow, looking if he can try to get a finishing blow here on Nick. Misses a right shot. Can he get any? No, misses the second. Now it's just a kiting war. Oh, he gets an immolating barrage to take out Naklus. So it's 1-1. Pretty slow fight here. Both enemies kind of like pacing around the map, trying to get a nice advantage on their opponent. Nick taking out the bow, almost has Mas down, but Mas does manage to get a battle shout out. Auto attacks coming in from Nick on the bow. One more should finish off his opponent. Ooh, but Mas is closing the gap with the staff, but the immolating barrage is going to tear him down. 2-1. Nak is in the lead. Lands a nice auto attack, taking almost all of Mas's armor out. 2 for 3. Can he land one more to get the combo effect? He decides not to. He goes for the sword. Going to try to close that distance against a staff wielder. Mage versus Templar here. Naklus gets the armor off, still pretty buffed up, and it is 2-1, so this could be his opportunity to make it a 3-1. Mas doing whatever he can to keep his distance with the staff, but Nick is finally closing the gap. Running in angrily, swinging that sword. Will he be able to close this off? He dashes away from the bubble, and all he needs to do is get a couple of hits, but Mas gets a really great right click off of the staff. All he needs is one more hit from one more major ability, and he could probably finish off Nick. Same goes for Nick, though. All Nick needs to do is probably get 2 more dashes off, and he can kill Mass. All right, we see some dancing here. Oh, out comes the shatter, but it misses. Nick is right up in his opponent's face. All he needs to do is get 1 or 2 dashes, and he'll get the kill. Lots of pacing, just lots of running around each other. We can see Nick's mana, and he's not necessarily using it all. Like, he should probably be wasting it just to get the last couple of hits off on Mass here.
He's being very careful, in particular with his shots. I'm not sure if that's the best strategy at this point to finish this.
If there's anything that I would describe Landmark PvP with, like, careful and meticulous is definitely not the description. There we go. Knack hits 1 Immolating Barrage to take off all of Mass's health, armor, and a little bit of his health. And that's a 3-1 to win Knacklos. Congratulations.
All right, guys. That means next up, our last round 1 match is against Fugazi and Noah Arc, who are in the ring. Fugazi already just ready to take his clothes off. Look at that mustache. He knows what's up. Fugazi's good to go.
Are you implying that people with mustache take their clothes off a lot?
He's just a good-looking guy. That's all I'm saying. And once Mr. Noah Arc gets in the ring, and oh, there he is, and he's got his clothes off as well. So boom, he's good to go. Put your gear on, queue up. Let's get this fight underway. The last match of round 1, guys, and we'll be moving on from there.
Yeah, here we go. We have Fugazi, who is a weekly contender here at Friday Night Fight Club, ready to put it all in the ring, but he takes it home with him at the end of the day too. Noah's Arc, who's been around. He's definitely competed in a couple of our Friday Night Fight Clubs. Well, the match has started. Fugazi immediately smacking Noah with as many, my observer mode's gone. With as many auto attacks as he can. Already taking, within a second, taking Noah's Arc down to practically no health. Noah does manage to use the shout as a salvation, but he might see the end here. All Fugazi needs to do is land 1 more dash or grab an Immolating Barrage, and that's over. So there's 1-0. Fugazi lands the kill with the dash. Out comes the bow from Fugazi. He's going to do his best to backtrack here against a sword. Ooh, Noah's Arc. Trying to potentially dodge a couple of hits with Fugazi, but not getting full value because he didn't get any damage. So with low energy, is he going to be able to stand up to Fugazi's bow? Here comes a well-placed double shout, well-placed by both opponents, getting the slow off, and it looks like an even matchup at the moment, although they're as far as this round is concerned. Fugazi, though, in the lead 1-0. Who will slash the other to death first is the question on our minds. Ooh, Noah gets the buff from his shield, giving him a slight advantage, but Fugazi is able to land a couple more auto attacks there and get some kills. Out comes brutal devastation from that bow onto Noah's Arc, who is standing in place. That is immolate. That is a charge shot. All he needs to do is land 1 right hit, or there it is. The right hit just completely dominated Noah's Arc there. 3-0 Fugazi. Congratulations to Fugazi, who will make it to the next round. And Noah's Arc, good try, bud.
It looked like Noah was having some trouble there. He definitely stood in one spot for a bit too long. I'm not sure if there's a bug that's responsible for that right now. Maybe we'll get with him and see what exactly happened, if there was something that went on there. But we are going to move on to round 2 now, which means, and we can come back to that and address that in a little bit, but our first round 2 match is going to be Kobitz versus Emmerich. Emmerich being the winner from the match round 1 against Lezik. So Emmerich can get back in the ring, which it looks like he is. Look at him. You guys are on top of this. And I'm flying, and now I'm not flying. I'm going to wait for him to get his gear off, as well as Mr. Kobitz. First match of the nights. Get in here and strip it down.
Yeah, and of course, once again, we appreciate you guys being flexible with us as far as the bugs are concerned, any lag or disconnections. I believe with disconnections, what we did last time was we asked the opponent, would you be willing to do a rematch? Of course, it's up to the opponent, but, if you say yes, then that's great. If not, then it is just the fate of playing a beta game. And, we do it every week, so of course, if there's a problem and it's... try to get it solved, or we will try, hopefully Landmark will get it solved, or Sony will get it solved, and you won't have it the next time. All right, so we have Kobitz and Emmerich both in the ring. Are they ready to go?
Yeah, they're both checked out with the gear, so they just got to queue up, and we'll get it started.
Awesome. So Kobitz, another return combatant, very big into PvP and Landmark. We see him at a lot of different arenas, and we have Emmerich, who's, as we spoke about before, a little bit newer to our battle here. Who will come out on top? The fresh blood of Emmerich, or Kobitz, the veteran PvPer? Right off the bat, we see the bubble being popped on Emmerich, which is gave him a slight neutralization there, where he was actually on par with Kobitz for a bit, but Kobitz now able to, using a great rotation of abilities, able to get a kill on Emmerich, so it is now 1-0. Out comes the bow, and it lays into Emmerich's chest. I believe the blazing shot was applied, and you can see the DOT ticking as Kobitz does everything he can to finish him off with a couple of sword dashes. Out comes an immolating barrage. One more shot should take Emmerich to the ground, and there it goes through the form of a dash. Ko starting off with the immolating barrage, getting some initial damage out. Now he's going to try to back kite with the bow in hand. Decides to go for the sword. All he needs to do is finish this off, and he'll have a 3-0 victory. And it's looking already like it's in his favor. Out comes some burn damage. You can see he must have a burn ability. Ko taking out the bow. He's going to look to try to get an immolating barrage, which misses because Emmerich puts a well-placed charge. Unfortunately for Emmerich, it's probably not going to be sufficient in this 2-0 lead as he continues to get kited by Kobitz's bow ability. Kobitz comes in, he says enough of this, wants to get off some dashes and auto attacks. Emmerich getting saved a little bit there by that shield. Will he be able to get the finish? Kobitz does land an immolating barrage to take out Emmerich. 3-0. Nice show, Kobitz, and good game, Emmerich.
And that takes us to the next match, which is Josuke against Albria. That'll be an interesting match for sure. The winner off to face Mr. Kobitz, who just won that. Geovanni, I stepped off the claim for a minute. If you can make sure that they've got their gear off and go jump next to them and give them the go-ahead to pop their gear back on and queue up. We'll be back in just a minute.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to Albria first. Albria, if you don't mind, looks like Albria and Joe, both of them, no armor. So guys, you can feel free to get started whenever you're ready. Looks like Albria going with the Slayer outfit. Josuke picking an outfit that I believe that is the oh yes, that is the barbed wire, or the one that does damage every time you get hit.
That's
so,
yeah, the barbed.
Barbed, yeah. So should be interesting to see here a Slayer being one of the most, if not the most offensive build currently in the game, versus the most defensive. But actually, it's a little bit of defense and offense, but definitely a really good choice. Both with the sword. We're probably not going to see Albria take the staff out here against that, or we should see him take that staff out against this armor. The barbed armor wouldn't get as much of an advantage, although I would say that it's not really applicable. Josie and Albria, by the way, guys, two very avid PvPers, know what they're doing. Very, very skilled with all of the weapons, as I've seen personally. Albria and Josie looks like going toe-to-toe at the moment, switching weapons as quickly as possible. Josie right now with a sword in Albria's face. Both of them trying to get some shouts off to slow the opponent and then close the gaps with the dashes. Albria looking to change out to get an immolating barrage as often as he can. So we can see Josie doing a really good job taking Albria to no armor, but Albria does manage to get the shout out to almost equalize the match. All right, there we go. Josie doing some decent damage to Albria without taking much trading in return. But Albria doing really good at spacing out those charges to keep himself alive. And then back kite with the bow. But down he goes. Josie's going to try to continue to close the gap with the sword and get the second. Do we know who got the first kill? I actually missed that one. Oh, well, it looks like it was. It looks like it's 2-2. So Josie does die to Albria. I'm not sure what happened there. Some charging going on, lots of shouts, regenning of armor all over the place. It looks like they're going to finish this one out to the face with the sword. Albria gets an immolating barrage, giving him a nice burst of damage, switching back to the sword, both of them getting the shout off to get the slow and the armor regen. Albria looking to again get an immolating barrage, consistent with his ability. Although Josie does a good job of punishing him for the small time where he can't put it out, and tries to close the gap and get equal damage, which he does. But ultimately, Albria does finish this out 3-1. Congratulations, Albria.
Very well done. And that takes us to Sakara, who I know was back and forth and just said good to go. Perfect. Sakara is up. First match of the night versus Naklus, winner from round 1. And Sakara knows no time to spare. Busy things to do. Responsibilities. Ready to go. Gear is off. She is good to go. And waiting on Mr. Naklus to get into the ring.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, people are catching on. The last match, everybody was in the ring and with no armor on before I could even look.
We've got some smart people. They get it. They see what's going on here. Waiting on Naklus.
Naklus is definitely a special person.
Absolutely.
May take him an extra second to get his armor off.
He's it's good dude. Smart guy. Also, by the way, you were saying the bread, like RIP the bread. The bread's here, man. The bread will live on forever in the ground.
Yes, but it's like cryo. What is that called? Cryo something? Frozen in time in this ice. I guess you're not dead if you're frozen, right? Or you can be frozen and dead, but what is it that they do to Han Solo?
Frozen carbonite. It's cryogenically frozen.
Cryogenically frozen, that's what it is.
Naklus is here. Nice. Here we go. Naklus has the okay. You're good to go. You look great, man. You're doing a good job. Sakara's already geared up, probably queued up, waiting on Mr. Naklus, and then we are good to go.
Now it looks like is that an armor that Nick has on?
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Huh. Looks like to me like the holiday Tech Sergeant holiday thing.
Yeah, you can have a costume on. That's fine.
Okay. Sakara and Naklus going toe to toe with the bow. Immediately we see some hits coming out, but Naklus winning that trade. Naklus winning that trade. Out comes Sakara with the bow, with the sword. Wants to close the gap as soon as possible and land as many dashes as possible. We can see some serious damage coming out from Sakara's sword work, but Nick is able to backpedal away and regen some armor as well. We have a Sakara. We have a pretty even matchup at the moment. Dashes all over the map. Not quite sure what the game plan is here. Now, in my opinion, when you do get a decent, some decent distance from your opponent and they've used all their energy, it's a great time to take the bow out and just try to start making utilization of the immolating barrage instant cast, and then of course maybe just trying to peg them from far away. As you can see, Sakara does they're constantly distanced, so Sakara just tries to do some damage there. But Nick has the same thing in mind, doing some decent damage back. So Sakara with a little bit of armor, not too much health, and Nick looking pretty full at the moment. Oh, there he goes. Takes 2 dashes, will take away his entire armor bar. 0-0 at the moment. Very, very close early match here. Lots of missing from the dodges. Both crossing paths and kind of like winding up on the other side of the map. I think that these two would benefit greatly from taking their bow out for a couple of spin once in a while and practicing with it. Because if they can get really good with the bow, they would in this particular match that person would probably be winning. Nick takes the bow out, isn't able to get any hits off though. Just kind of running around. It's a lot of like misaimed dashes at the moment. Lots of missed shots, taking a bit of time here. Now I do wonder if anybody does know what armor that is. I would love to know, or if that isn't
on Sakara.
No, on Nick.
Nax got the costume on, the orange Tech Sergeant gear.
Didn't we say that there was no costumes this week, or was I just?
They can. They can wear a costume. If they can't wear a piece of arm, like an actual armor piece, in their costume slot.
Got you.
The only time they need to take their any costume off is initially to make sure that we know that they have no gear on whatsoever.
I gotcha. Okay. So, all right, and it looks like Sakara is running the. I'm trying to get a close up. Oh, that is the battle. Isn't that the battle armor, the power armor? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
So that's kind of like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like an in between, like sort of defensive and offensive, a little bit of each, just to give you well-rounded stats. That might be why Nick is having such a hard time taking any damage off of Sakara, and maybe why Sakara is having such a hard time taking Naklus out. We're still 0-0 here. Neither of them really able to land a lot of their skills, and when they do, they can't follow up as well as they might want to.
Uh-oh, Sakara's closing the gap though.
Well, Nick is doing everything he can to avoid the gap being closed, and just constantly. They do a really good job of constantly healing themselves up. Well, I guess we could take this opportunity. I mean, it seems to be pretty straightforward. I don't think we're gonna have anything too crazy happening, except for some consistent dashing here. So we can talk a little bit about the builds that we've seen so far. So, Never, have you seen any builds that really stand out to you as very strong, like dominating the scene? I think Never might have went AFK.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was asking if you if there are any have you seen any armors or armor weapon combinations that you've seen really just dominating the scene at the moment?
Yeah, the barbed armor for sure. At least parts of it, some
Yes.
of it.
Now it does. I believe it does a percent damage back, right? So.
I thought it was static, but yeah, it gives damage back on hit.
Oh, does it? It gives static damage back on hit.
It's
okay.
Well, I don't know if all the pieces are the same. Let me.
It probably is. I think that percent would be pretty strong. If it wasn't, it's already very strong. So.
That's just my opinion, though. I could be totally wrong about that.
Okay, cool. I might have it up in observer mode. I can't really check right now.
I just found it. Yeah, it's 0.25 of your offense plus 5 damage back. So it's both. It's a percentage and some static on top.
So I think that probably the best thing again to counter against that would probably be high crit chance. Because
yeah, could be.
If it was percent based, then obviously it wouldn't matter because the more damage you do to them, the more damage you would take, unless it was sort of like a lower number and it kind of was capped out already by a regular auto attack. But hitting them less means hitting them like killing them more, and they probably have less
Right.
defenses, like less like actual health and armor with such a defensive. Or is it? Do you mind actually reading the stats for us?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, if you're getting damage back to yourself, you want to finish them off with taking as little damage as that. Fugazi sent me a tell and asked me a question, and I'm not sure if he was joking or not, but I'm actually considering the idea. We do have a time limit on this match, Fugazi. Fugazi asked, does this go to highest health after 10 minutes? Again, I'm not sure if that was a joke or not, because this is a quite a long match for no kills thus far. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this match in 3 minutes and 28 seconds if there's not a kill. So we'll see. Maybe the time will put some pressure on our contestants here, and they'll pull something out and get some kills going here.
Well, yeah, they definitely need to do something because. But I don't think that it's necessarily. It doesn't seem like it's a lack of desire. It seems like it's a lack of commitment. Like both of them kind of will run away as soon as the other starts to get some damage off on them. As you can see, both with full health and full armor at 7 minutes in the game. So they just need to go all in at this point.
Yep.
and hope for it.
And it looks like that's happening right now.
Yeah, Sakara's landing a couple more dashes than Nick, gets the stun out, but Nick with the bow, not able to do as much damage, and he's actually got slowed, which was really a good call on Sakara. Nick takes out the sword, trying to just run away. But to be honest, already
There
both
it goes,
of them
right back.
right back up.
Right back up.
All right, well, I think the best chance that someone has to win right now is to get a charge shot on the enemy and then get an immolating barrage off for the DOT. Charge in with a sword and get a slow off, potentially, or maybe even not, just finish him off. Neither of them are particularly tanky, so they're kind of both, I don't know what Nick's wearing, but they kind of seem a little bit in between.
We're in the 2-minute mark now, and again, we're seeing some swings go here, which is good. Hopefully they stick, but we'll see what happens. And again, obviously always constantly evolving and changing the rules here at Friday Night Fight Club. So based on the result of this match, if a kill is actually not obtained at the end of this timer, we'll possibly adjust the time of these matches, because of course we're trying to keep the matches nice and short and action-packed.
Well, I would say that, yeah, maybe... I mean, we've never had this happen before, actually, like you said before.
We haven't. Sakara is continuously getting Nick very, very low, which is something to take note of.
Right. So I'm just curious why neither of them are using this. Like, usually when this happens, the enemy, when somebody tries to, like, create a gap, that's when you see the bow. And the bow will punish somebody because it's a huge damage item. So with the lack of the bow coming out, it's really the biggest issue that we see here.
For sure. And Naklus is just running away, trying to get full armor back. Of course, without that one accessory, I forget which one it is. I'm terrible. You can't get the health back, so he's only regenerating his armor. And if the decision is made either by the game or by us for lowest health at the end of the match, if you don't have a kill, then right now it looks like Naklus is behind with 40 seconds left in the match.
I think that's probably the fairest thing that we can do. Still, because with the lowest health, that will put you the furthest behind. I mean, some people might argue some armor builds, like to regen armor quickly, but
I mean, there has to be a winner in the next 24 seconds. So
exactly. All right. Well, not much to say about this match other than this could be avoided if both of these awesome people work on their bow. So that would be my letter of rec to either of these players.
Game over, 0-0. No winner is declared. So it was Naklus with the.
Maybe we should just like flip an online coin, because Nick actually had full health at the end of that, I think.
Did he? He got his health back. Okay. Well.
I don't know.
It's pretty uneventful.
Why don't we? Do we have anything that we can do where like it'd be like a competition but very short-lived?
Oh man, let's.
All right. Why don't we make something of this? Why don't we have them both stripped down naked, and just slash each other with a sword, the first one to die? I don't know. What do we do?
I don't know. This is a first, guys. You guys are in this with us. Help us come up with a good way to settle this, because we don't just want to have a repeat and have the same match again, but we do need to pick a winner for that match to move forward.
Yeah, why don't some of you guys on the chat throw out some suggestions? Maybe we could see what we can do with these kinds of situations, or maybe we could do like a bow thing where just instead of a sword, like two people stand on opposite corners and just don't move, and whoever gets the kill first. I don't know.
We could definitely do.
User joined your channel.
I don't know. It's rough because obviously people have certain strong suits with different weapons. So.
Sure. I'm down for a naked 1v1.
Naked 1v1 with what? With a staff vest? I feel like that's appropriate because it's a staff, and that's, you're naked.
I'm down with whatever, man. That was an awesome fight.
Well, I think the only well, no, it wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, this won't be an issue in the first or in the future. I don't think like people would intentionally try to like not kill each other to get to this point, but
yeah. So what are we gonna do? Is this gonna be our sudden death criteria? All just full naked, no sword use, only staff.
I just think the staff may take a while, right? Or do you? Maybe the bow is like more like sudden death.
We could do bow. Let's do bow. So full naked, only bow. Can't use sword or staff, and first to die loses sudden death.
All right, sounds good.
Let me type that out.
User left your channel.
So
Blue Syringa had a cool one too. How about the two of them 1v1 versus, or they go 2v1 versus somebody? Well, we'd have to change all the rules.
Yeah, we can't. Unfortunately, we're not set up for that. We were trying to keep this moving, but that is a good idea to do some kind of like boss fight or something.
The thing is, Murad, it could technically be a strategy, you know, to be tanky. I mean, I've personally never run into a scenario where you can't kill somebody with a bow, even if they are tanky and running away. So I think that it was a situation where the tools were in there to be able to kill each other, but it was just not being utilized. So I don't really say that. I wouldn't say that like it's fair or unfair to do to like run away, especially in this arena. You know, there's no place to hide or anything.
Yeah. So I need confirmation from Sakara and Nak that they're good to go with this. Nak's naked with a bow out. I'm assuming he's ready for this. Sakara's up there naked with a bow as well. So if they jump down and queue up, then we'll get our sudden death. Again, the first one to get a kill will win the sudden death part of this match and move on. And if you guys have better ideas for us to put into place for next time this happens, I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll ever see this, and we'd like to have a fun way to deal with it.
Yeah, sure. That brings up a great point. If any of you guys want to try to make Friday Night Fight Club history, feel free to send me a private message in Twitch, and I'll share them with Never for throughout the week. Maybe next week we can even do like a poll. We can take all our favorite ones and throw it up on like a straw poll, and the one that wins could be our official rule and rules for the sudden death. Sakara says 5% of my 1,000 health as a shield when I dash, and 5% is max armor on crit as a shield. Huh.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's a viable strategy, but obviously with no accessories, no armor. Here we go. It's naked, sudden death bowfest. This is gonna go real quick. Sakara's landed all the hits so far. Nak's gotten like one in. Sakara lands the barrage. Boom, it's done. Just like that. That's sudden death if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, that means can I add a set? I can. Nice. So I'll put 0-0. So on the scores, it's actually a set now. So their actual match was 0-0, and then Sakara got the one kill in the sudden death round. So that's the win. So moving on, how do you stop it? Can you not leave the game? Hover over the top and hit leave game?
Yeah, you guys should be able to leave the game by doing that. Just that.
There we go. Sakara wins. Boom. Okay, so moving on again to the last round 2 match. It's going to be Verlin versus Fugazi. I doubt we'll have another longevity issue with this match, but we'll see how it goes. So Verlin and Fugazi already both in the ring. I'm flying, so I need to stop that. And Verlin's good. Nice and naked. Same with Fugazi. So we're good to go. They will queue up, and we'll have some action here in a second, guys. And this will be the last of our round 2 matches. And then we're getting into the semifinals after that.
You know, just a quick side note while we wait for them to queue up here. Do you have a green screen, Never?
Yep.
You do, right? I'm thinking maybe next week we get like a caster's desk. And
Absolutely.
Just like green screen it on the screen, you know?
I don't know how we're going to make that possible with... We'll figure something out. Yeah, we should totally do this.
Dude, it's so easy. We just take your green screen, I'm green screen, and then I just... Oh, the game started. We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
All right, so they jump in, Fugazi right off the bat, and actually both of them just doing a great job smacking each other with shots. Verlin, though, with the advantage at the moment, Fugazi's going to do his best to close the gap and get the armor so that he can try to make an even fight out of this. But it looks like Verlin decides to be in the same scenario, taking out the sword, going in for a couple of dashes. Verlin doing a great job here. Wasn't expecting such an explosive fight right off the bat, but both of these players doing really great. About an even matchup here, both barely with any health. Out comes the shout, and Verlin is going to get a dash to kill Fugazi now with no health left and no armor. He gets Immolated Barrage down, so we have an even fight, 1-1. Verlin landing a couple of nice shots there. It looks like Verlin does a bit more damage than Fugazi does with the bow shots. Two bow shots from Verlin, taking Fugazi down to no armor. Takes about 4 from Fugazi. But that probably does mean that he's a bit more susceptible. As you can see, Fugazi comes in and gets some nice damage off of his health bar, but it does wind up evening out. Out comes a shout from Fugazi. Very, very even fight in terms of armor and health. Oh, out comes the Verlin with the bow, looking to try to get an Immolating Barrage, but he misses. He doesn't get it out, and then Fugazi gets a nice dash off, very low. Verlin manages to shout to keep himself back, to get himself back halfway up. Immolating Barrage traded. Fugazi gets one more auto attack to finish it off. Immediately, Fugazi laying into Verlin. Shots fired, and both of them. Neither of them on fire, but Verlin actually I lied. Verlin's on fire with that with that burn there, and Fugazi may close this out here. Verlin got Fugazi very low though. 2-2, Verlin and Fugazi. Immolating Barrage. One more hit and Fugazi will take it, but Verlin is doing his best to jump, avoid the hits. Can he get Fugazi down? Out comes the shout. It's going to give him a little bit more armor to fight through this, but Fugazi gets an auto attack with the sword and is able to close it for the 3-2 victory. Very great match from both contestants. Kudos to both of you, and thank you so much for an invigorating.
That was an amazing match. Verlin really hung in there at the end. Like Fugazi could have ended that, but there was a potential comeback there. It's really close. It's good stuff, guys. All right, we're towards the end of the night now, guys. I expect a lot more exciting matches like that. First up in semifinals is going to be Kobits versus Albria, both ready to go, eager to get started here. So let me give them the okay. They're both unequipped, no armor bug. We're good to go. So first match of our semifinals will be starting up soon here. Kobits versus Albria.
All right.
The 2 winners of these next 2 matches, guys, is going to move on to our grand finals. The losers are not done. They'll be playing in the bronze match for 3rd place, which is going to be the last person to walk away with the prize tonight.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, so Albria and Kobits, 2 seasoned PvP veterans, looking to duke it out for their spot at their chance at a cash prize. All right, so we have them both spawning, both with the bow. Kobits starting off with an Immolating Barrage, but Albria does trade it right back. Looks like Albria getting a bit more damage off, but trading evenly as far as hits is concerned. Albria looks to close the gap, but takes out the bow, lands 1 Immolating Barrage. Again, Kobits responding with the same type of event. Mirror image, but Albria does more damage than Kobits at the end of the day here. Albria charging in with the sword. Both of them very, very low. All they need is 1 Immolating Barrage, which Albria manages to get out before Kobits tries, but there's the trade again. Very close and mirrored matchups here with as far as weapons are concerned. Oh, Albria hitting some critical shots there, just obliterating Kobits. Wow. I think it was 4 for 5 with those hits. Albria is going to stick out with the bow, looks to try to land a right hit, gets the Immolating Barrage. Kobits comes in with the sword, dashes a couple of times, gets that slow onto Albria, but Albria returns the favor. Both of them stuck in place, trying to get some auto attacks and dashes off. Kobits backpedaling. Will we see an Immolating Barrage? I would imagine so. There it comes out. Albria and Kobits both about even health, but one of them does have Albria has the 2-1 lead. Albria taking Kobits down with some great hits from the auto attacks from the sword and 2 well-placed dashes. This looks like it could be game here unless Kobits can manage to get a shout out. Out comes the shout from Albria, misses. 1 Immolating Barrage takes all of the armor and the remaining health from Kobits. 3-1 victory, Albria. Great fight.
That was insane. Kobits did manage to get the shout off, but it wasn't enough. He had just barely not enough health to survive that last hit from Albria. That was pretty nuts. Sakara entering the ring and saying, "I'm so dead." You never know. Who knows what could happen? But we could end up here with a grand finals Albria versus Fugazi match, which I would be excited to see. But I'd be even more excited to see Sakara pull out this victory here and go on to the grand finals to face the deadly Albria, who we just saw pull out that victory. These guys are ready to go. They're suited up here. Bows drawn. Weapons at the ready. Our last semifinals match. Again, Kobits, remember, stick around. You're about to be up next after this match against whoever loses here, and you guys will be battling it out for 3rd place. All
right, the match has started. Sakara and Fugazi, both of them making Making some progress here with the bow. It's Fugazi landing a couple more shots, though. Sakara is going to take the sword out. Out comes the shield. We know Sakara mentioned before that he has a fairly, it's a she character, has a fairly tanky build, which we could probably expect to see here as he has a shield on again. Fugazi doing everything he can to get some damage off and doing a pretty good job at it. She is at half health, while Fugazi is going to take out a bow, immolating barrage to the face, may be able to finish, and does. So now we have a 1-0 fight. Fugazi, all he needs to do is get a little bit of armor back, and it would be about an even fight for the second round. Fugazi eliminating all of the armor off of Sakara. Sakara doing everything she can to trade evenly, but Fugazi doing a great job of kiting away when he needs to make room for the immolating barrage, and then return the damage with the sword as soon as Sakara comes in. There we see Fugazi saying, you know what, I'm just going to stick back for a bit and try to get you in the face with the bow. But Sakara says nope. And then Fugazi also says nope as he takes out the sword to return the favor. 2-0 right now. Fugazi is in the lead, but looks like Sakara may be able to get the kill here. But Fugazi, instead of letting himself go down, he decides to whip out the sword, go for some serious fighting, some serious face-to-face fighting, and closes the gap with the dashes. Both of them fairly even here. Fugazi again with that brutal bow work, taking Sakara down, landing 4 for 5 there. All he needs is one more shot. The immolating barrage misses, but I have no doubt that Fugazi will be able to hit one of his shots here to finish off Sakara. Oh, out comes the shout, and one slash and dash, and he gets the win. 3-0 Fugazi. Good show.
Definitely a good fight, and Sakara, don't go anywhere, because the next match we have here, it's going to be Mr. Ko's back in the ring to fight you to face it off for 3rd place. This will be our third place bronze match. You're good to go on your gear. I just saw you fighting, so you haven't gone anywhere, obviously. Kobitz can jump back in. Oh, it's Mr. Lando Marquez is here.
Oh yeah, he's been hanging out for a while.
He's been here.
Yeah,
he's been a contender before.
Oh, definitely.
I think he may have won.
Right?
No.
Oh.
Mark is Lucas the Lost.
Right. Okay. Mark threw me off. I saw Mark. Yeah, there he is. He's there.
Sakara back in. Once we get a hold of Kobitz, we'll do our 3rd place bronze match, guys, and then we're off to the final match of the night, the grand finals against Albria and Fugazi.
Again, if you guys are keeping up with the bracket, I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the Twitch chat. Feel free to go take a look and watch the progression that we've made here. Also, keep track, because you want to know who your rivals are going to be over the next coming weeks. It's my favorite thing about 1v1 arenas. It really sparks these competitive rivalries. For example, I think Albria has a rivalry with just about everybody.
I personally hate Albria with a deep passion.
Although I'm going to brag here totally hardcore. Albria has never beat me in a fight, and we've fought more than 3 times.
I don't remember
shots fired
when or if I've 1v1'd Albria, but it definitely has not happened since this new system is in, and I'm definitely not ready for that.
Actually, I may be mistaken. Maybe he beat me once. But I just like to brag. You guys know me.
I'm braggadocious.
Braggadocious in the best way possible. Although he does put the arrow to lots of people's knees. All right, we have the game Kobitz and Sakara for this is 3rd place, correct?
It is. This is our bronze match.
The bronze.
So the winner of this will receive a prize. I need to figure out what that's going to be. Actually, I've got so much to give out.
Looks like Sakara and Kobitz sort of mirror imaging with the weapons. Ko goes for the bow, is going to try to finish off Sakara, who has no health left. Needs about one more shot. He should get the kill here. Oh, goes for the dash, but Sakara gets a nice shot out to keep herself from dying. Ko switches to the bow, but with the burn, takes Sakara down to no health. Can he get one hit? He does. He gets the dash off to finish her off. Immediately, we see bow trades coming out here. Looks like not enough to get a blazing shot, but definitely a little bit to soften the opponents so they can continue to get some decent slashes here with the sword. Looks like we might have a one-on-one sword fest. Lots of kiting, lots of running around. Lots of shouting, that's for sure. Looks like both of them have a bit of a tank build on. as neither of them are taking too much damage or giving too much damage. Although Kobitz somehow does manage to outlast Sakara once again on these slightly drawn-out sessions here. All he needs to do is land about 1 or 2 more shots and he should get the kill. There's one more dash, and she's done. Oh, there it is. 2-0. Kobitz in the lead at the moment. Can Sakara make a comeback here? Kobitz says nope as he lands 2 shots right in a row. 3. He's got the blazing shot. Out comes the dot from the immolating barrage. All he needs to do is get in there and get a challenging shout out, and then get a couple of dashes to finish this off. But Sakara is so tanky, so tanky. Sakara looking like Tiananmen Square here, standing up like a tank, not taking any damage. Oh, and the dashing might cost Sakara as she expends energy, but doesn't trade it for any damage. And Kobitz is able to just kite back, get some sweet hits there.
GG's though, and if I'm not mistaken, this was Sakara's first Friday Night Fight Club, and we had more than 8 members, and Sakara made it all the way to the bronze match, which is about as close as you can get. So amazing job, very well done.
I think Sakara was here last week.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Second week, still pretty new considering this tournament's been around for a couple months.
Not somebody like these 2 smelly guys in the arena now, ready to go, bowing, loving the RP.
In my mind, I see them like staring each other down. Like
these guys are in the zone right now. It's about to get real. It's gonna get smelly. You guys need to pull up your seats here.
I'm gonna draw a big breath of air for this one.
Yeah, you're gonna need to. It's about to get serious. All right, guys, here we go. Final match of the night, grand finals. Albria versus Fugazi. Who's gonna take it home?
Oh yeah.
Bragging rights for the next week.
If I'm not mistaken, Fugazi took it last week.
I believe so.
So Fugazi and Albria both coming out with immolating barrages to take their opponent down to no armor, and now it's just about who can trade. Even trading here, both have hit exactly the same amount, but Fugazi gets the dot, Albria lands a shot, and they both go down. Albria, though, still has the dot on him, which Fugazi was really inclined to put out there, and we can see the burn damage from Fugazi doing some nice work on Albria. Fugazi hitting 3, getting the blazing shot, takes out Albria. Albria continuing to take damage through the death. The blazing shot's too strong. Fugazi going. Will he be stopped? Albria does his best, gets a shot off on Fugazi, 1 or 2 more to take him down, but Fugazi with the burn and the immolating barrage. Too much pressure from Fugazi's dots and overtime damage that keeps Albria missing those, maybe worried and missing those shots. And great close fight.
It is insane to keep your composure and be able to dodge and jump and aim with the bow like that.
Especially with the dots. I think when you're taking damage over time, right?
Yeah, you're getting pegged and you've got the dot ticking, and it's insane. And still, they were both landing shots on one another, like just rapid fire. Amazing skill level at that point. But again, guys, you saw a lot of contestants here, made it really far. Really quick matches, really long matches. Our first ever sudden death. That was fun. We'll try and come up with a cool way to deal with that. Maybe if we can come up with something better than what we had this week. But definitely, it's fun to have something new happen. Amazing Friday Night Fight Club, guys. It only gets better every time. We've got more and more things being added. The meta of combat is constantly evolving at this point. Obviously, we're going to get more of that as well.
Well, I think to point out, like, there finally really is a meta. Before, it was so simplified that it was mostly just, knowing one thing. As long as you knew the weapon swap and which weapon was better than the other one, you pretty much knew how to win. And it all came down to mechanics. But now we do have the final ability, or the ability to have the armor really weigh in as a factor when it comes to winning and losing. So, loving the established meta, and I can't, like you said, I can't wait for it to continue to grow and become more in depth. It'll make things for us way easier, or not even way easier, but it'll make it more complicated, but actually more fun, I think. And we'll have like a lot more interesting topics while they're fighting.
Oh no, Sakara just discovered she'd been sabotaged by the little ones. Her kids had altered the DPI on the mouse. You gotta check in early. Gotta check all the gear. Check your in-game gear, your out-of-game gear. Make sure you're ready to go. Face up against these guys. That being said, you did make it extremely far, and you did very well. And that goes for everybody who showed up. I'm extremely pissed at Sweezy for not competing, because with the bow action that we saw in the grand finals just then, I would have liked to have seen some of that from Sweezy. So yeah, next week, Fran Sweezy says he will find a way to compete. So that'll be awesome. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. We got some prizes to give out to the winners here, but that concludes our tournament. Once again, we're doing this every Friday now. Knock on wood, if everything allows for that. So I'll be streaming Landmark a bit more. I think Geovanni's going to be doing the same. Geovanni's already streaming full time again, which is amazing. You guys need to make sure you're following this channel if you aren't already. But this is where we have Friday Night Fight Club. We're obviously going to spruce up the stream a little bit, as Geovanni was talking about earlier with the Shoutcaster desk. That'll be fun. So you'll get to see both of our the terribly ugly faces on the stream the whole time you're watching us.
Adorably ugly, to be
okay, adorably ugly. Yeah. I'll settle for that.
Although I don't now I'm gonna have to get shit for not having a beard again.
Oh, it's time to grow it out, man. You cut your hair. You got to get the hair back somehow.
Yeah, I'll do it in never mind. Anyway,
Sakara says she's okay with the results. She's still a PvP noob. A lot of people that have come out to this have been PvP noobs, and it really brings people together for a place to PvP together and hone their skills. I mean, there's no better place you're going to find to really match up against people on a regular basis, other than spamming the chats, which is a great thing to do as well. Obviously, in the PvP channel, the FNFC channel, whenever you're on looking for action, if you don't know where exactly people are at, by using the gallery, you can look for stuff there, throw around ideas, let people know you've got a new PvP arena claim that you're working on, anything like that.
Well, as Never said before, a large part of this is about theory crafting, about understanding the combat and the PvP in this game at the moment. You can find, like Never said, me on Twitch Monday through Friday, and as we start to play more Landmark, make sure you check in, because we're going to be consistently going over different builds, testing different builds out throughout the week. So make sure, if you're not already following the channel, that you go ahead and do that. Also, Never, why don't you talk a little bit about Chosen Gaming, which is a partner in sponsoring this event, like Visionary Gaming. Why don't you just give the people a little bit of an understanding of what Chosen is and how you guys operate?
For sure. So
we operate.
Chosen is our guild name in game. It's part of Chosen Gaming, which is our larger multi-game community. We exist on a lot of fronts. We played a lot of Star Wars: The Old Republic. We've been together for years and years. All sort of came together under various MMOs. Played EQ2 together with a group of people. This is before we had branded ourselves as Chosen. Played a lot of WoW, of course. Star Wars: The Old Republic, and most recently WildStar, which the WildStar chapter of Chosen Gaming has just closed as of today. And what that means, it's sad, but what that means is I will be focusing on Landmark. So our presence in Landmark, I'm going to try and grow that. If you guys have any questions about us or what we do, or you want to join in on events that we're putting on, or you have ideas for an event for us to do, want to get back to building events for sure, but also with the addition of PvE very shortly. I mean, we have that right around the corner. We'll be doing monster hunting parties, things like that, for big groups of people to go raid things and get loot together. Assuming the loot system for killing monsters works anywhere similarly to how you can open chests as a group, and everybody sort of gets their share. Should be fun to put together, sort of like raiding parties, even though it's not raid monsters or anything like that. But yeah, so we're it's chosen-gaming.com. The Twitter's chosen_gaming, and we plan to stick around. We're doing our thing in Landmark. We're slowly growing our numbers. A lot of thanks goes to Geovanni, who's one of our officers, promoting for us, and as well as obviously Friday Night Fight Club has brought us a ton of attention, which has been great. Last week on Landmark, or this past week on Landmark Live, they featured builds that had clever uses of glass, or were primarily glass builds. And one of our really, really awesome builders, Tamria, her build was featured on there. There we go. Fugazi is asking me to drag him in here. But yeah, so we have amazing builders. Obviously, we have amazing PvPers, all around people. Nice community. Great place to play. And yeah, if anyone has any questions or needs anything from me or from us, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'm sure you'll see us around. We hope to see you guys around as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as the YouTube content, this is going to be going up on YouTube, so you guys will be able to find that. Let me go ahead and type in my YouTube channel. If you guys ever want to go back, you want to go back and you want to see what you did, how you did in combat, or maybe some of the things that you can work on. We want to make sure that this is accessible to you guys, so you can kind of use it as a replay for yourself.
Yeah, just before I forget, on that point, you can also view all the previous brackets from previous Friday Night Fight Clubs, as well as I'll typically put a weekly post up, especially if there's things to change from one week to the next with what changes are being made, what the schedule is going to be for that Friday's Friday Night Fight Club. Of course, I do the pre-show stream. I'm just getting back to doing that tonight. It was super successful. Tenma helped me out, rated.
We actually did a
Talinar.
Theory Forge raid.
Oh, Theory Forge rated. That's right. Yeah, we had a ton of people come through, so that was super successful, and that carried over into an awesome Friday Night Fight Club. But yeah, so you can check previous tournament standings on that site, chosen.challenge.com. That's all you need to put in. You don't need any FNFC parameter or clarifier or anything. Just the base URL will show you all the other brackets. You can see kind of how people have done in the past, sort of know who the big dogs are. And watch yourself improve over time. You know what I mean? If you feel like, I could have done better, go look at how you were doing a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that. And even better, like Geovanni said, with him uploading the videos, you can literally watch yourself in combat. And there's no better way to improve your own skill than that.
All right. So thank you guys so much for coming out, to the YouTubers out there, and we'll hopefully see you guys next time. As far as the stream is concerned, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say, just in case you were taking a break or shutting it off. Fugazi